You're not like other Disney World vacation planners. I can tell. How do I know that? Because you clicked on today's video, ready to outsmart Disney World for your 2025 vacation. And that means you're already one step closer to doing exactly that. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Vlog. So Disney is one smart cookie. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And because they're so smart, it can often feel intimidating to even reach inside the proverbial trip planning cookie jar because you just might get burned in the end. So what the team and I are doing today is not simply reaching into that jar, but smashing it right open for you to expose the best ways to plan your upcoming 2025 vacation. I love when Bria uses cookie analogies of any kind. I hope you do too. Okay, wait to book your trip until you know the exact release dates of all this stuff coming. We know new things are on the horizon for Disney World in 2025. Test Track in Epcot is going to reopen with a new queue, new ride scenes, and an all-around new storyline. Plus, it's going to be more like World of Motion, which is one of my favorite rides back in the 80s. Spaceship Earth is going to be getting its own lounge, inspired by the attraction's stories, shapes, and enduring legacy. I love that shapes thing. Adventureland over in Magic Kingdom will also be getting a new Pirates of the Caribbean-themed lounge that'll expand on the tales of this classic dark ride. A Villains show will be replacing Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy in Hollywood Studios in summer 2025. Zootopia Better Together will be a new 4D attraction opening next winter. It's going to be replacing It's Tough to Be a Bug in the Tree of Life. A new nighttime parade, Disney Starlight, will make its big debut in the Magic Kingdom in summer of 2025. And I want to really focus on this last one to drive home the point I'm about to make. The Little Mermaid, a musical adventure, is coming to Hollywood Studios and is now slated to open in summer 2025. So why am I picking on The Little Mermaid show? Because originally this show was going to open up this fall, as in 2024, as in right now. Disney can push back release dates for new attractions and experiences at any time, especially when they still don't have an exact release date attached to them. Disney's not doing this to ruin your trip, but if there are any building delays or technical mishaps or, I don't know, hurricanes or some other unforeseen circumstance that causes them to slow their roll, they might be forced to adjust their slated time frame as needed. So if there's a new experience you know you want to prioritize during your upcoming 2025 visit, don't rely on those loose opening time frames to plan your entire trip. Instead, wait for Disney to drop those exact opening dates. We're talking month, day, and year, y'all. And even after that, you might still want to wait to book your trip a couple months after those new experiences are released, just to make sure Disney gets all the kinks worked out during said attraction's initial opening phases. Anyone having Tiana's Bayou Adventure flashbacks? That poor girl really struggled during her first few weeks. Not to mention, if you check out a new experience after the initial hype has died down, you won't have to deal with the influx of crowds who are all piling into the parks just to see the new stuff. Not to mention all of us vloggers and bloggers, you know what I'm saying? Now, it's a tough balance, my friend. Sometimes you want to try the food or desserts for a certain table service location, but you don't want to necessarily take a whole lot of time out of your day or spend a whole lot of money. So, where's the middle ground? Not every Disney World restaurant has a middle ground, but some do, thanks to their walk-up windows and to-go bakery options. So here are the best Disney World restaurants that also have a quick service or bakery counterpart. In Magic Kingdom, you don't have to sit down for a full meal at the Plaza restaurant if you're only looking to grab one of their decadent ice cream treats. Just head over to the Plaza Ice Cream Parlor next door. Choose the sundae, the shake, or the ice cream scoop you've been dreaming about. For me, it's the All-American Sundae, hands down, made with old-fashioned vanilla and chocolate ice cream, hot fudge, peanut butter, whipped cream, and a cherry on top. And I need more peanut butter, please. In Epcot, La Crêperie de Paris has a pretty extensive crepe and galette menu, but Crêpes à Emporter is the restaurant's nearby to-go window that gives you a slightly different crepe and galette variety that you might even enjoy more than the options available inside the actual table service location. If you're just looking for tacos on the go, you might want to choose La Cantina de San Angel inside the Mexico Pavilion rather than its attached La Hacienda de San Angel table service restaurant. And while the Pizza al Taglio window isn't always open, when it is open in Epcot, you can get really tasty and really big pizza slices without the Via Napoli reservations. Now, the pizza's made differently between the two locations, with the pizza window serving up a square, thick Sicilian-style crust and Via Napoli serving more thin crust options. But both are solid, so it's a win-win either way. The comfort food from Rose and Crown is a winner in my book, but if you're really just wanting to get an order of fish and chips, the Yorkshire County Fish Shop window next door serves essentially the same thing that the restaurant does, and for a cheaper price too. You can also walk up to the Rose and Crown bar without having a dining reservation if you still want to order a beer or a cocktail to go. In Hollywood Studios, you don't have to book reservations for Oga's Cantina to try a Star Wars themed cocktail or mocktail. Batu inspired drinks are also sold at the various other quick service locations around Galaxy's Edge, like Docking Bay 7, Katsaka's Kettle, the Milk Stand, and Ronto Roasters. In Animal Kingdom, Yak and Yeti has some great Pan-Asian offerings on its menu, but its quick service, the Yak and Yeti local food cafes, also has a variety of Pan-Asian offerings free to choose from, and they are delicious. They also have my favorite mini mango pie that I can't help but order every time I'm here when it's available, even though I can just get it at Publix. In Disney Springs, Cooks of Dublin's going to hook you up with a selection of popular Irish pub food if you don't want to book a reservation for its neighboring Raglan Road restaurant. Just please get the Dubliner Irish cheese and bacon dip and save some for me. Don't ask questions. Morimoto Asia is usually a pretty pricey signature dining experience, but you can experience a taste of this one minus the big expense thanks to the Morimoto Asia street food window. Thanks, Chef Masaharu Morimoto, for giving us this. This serves items straight from the restaurant's kitchen like ramen, egg rolls, dumplings, those incredible ribs, and a bunch of other small bites. Next up in Springs, we love having drinks and bites over at Wine Bar George, but we also love being able to get similar, if not the exact same, drinks and small bites. Fried mac and cheese, I'm talking to you, while we're in a hurry from Wine Bar George's to-go window, the basket. By the way, please get that millionaire shortbread if you are there. Now, while it's not always our favorite place to grab a quick bite to eat, the Smokehouse is House of Blue's quick service window that serves options like mac and cheese, unique corn dog varieties, and that all too infamous smoked turkey leg. We love eating at Jaleo for its paella and various other contemporary Spanish entrees, but Pepe is right next door to it and also serves Spanish-inspired entrees in a faster food environment, including things like sandwiches and sangrias, and those amazing patatas bravas. Please get some of those. And if you're looking for a quick, sweet treat from the Summer House on the Lake restaurant, good news, all you gotta do is walk up to the cookie bar and grab a dessert to go. And over at the Disney Resort Hotels, the brand new Cake Bake Shop at Boardwalk Inn has a bakery in the back where you can pick up a variety of cakes and coffees to take with ya. You can find a variety of Boma's buffet options from Animal Kingdom Lodge inside the Mara quick service, like the butternut squash soup and the zebra domes. And Beaches and Cream at the Beach Club Resort has an ice cream window available if you want boozy or non-boozy shakes on the go. Now, can you tell the team and I have been in major guidebook mode lately? Because we've been working our little rear ends off to update the DFB guide to Walt Disney World dining over on dfbstore.com to make sure you've got not only the best Disney World dining advice at your disposal, but also the most relevant dining advice that you can actually apply to your next visit, no matter what kind of travel group you're going to be dining with. So if you're really vibing with learning all about these different quick service counterparts for table service locations, there's so much more where that came from over in our online guides. Just make sure to type in code YouTube if you want to save some cash on your total guidebook purchase. Head over to dfbstore.com to browse. Fantasmic, Festival of Fantasy, Holiday Party, Nighttime Spectaculars. Each of these shows are super popular among guests, and depending on when you're visiting, you might have 2 different opportunities to see them. If you happen to be at Magic Kingdom or Hollywood Studios and one of these shows or parades is having a double feature, aim to go to the second showtime instead of the first. Many guests choose to go to the first showing either because it's getting towards the end of the night, so they're ready to head back to their hotel and get the kids to bed, or in the case of those daytime parades, lots of guests are just excited for them, so they don't want to wait to see the show later when they can see all the fun floats and characters now. But that typically means the second showtime for these experiences is usually a whole lot less crowded, giving you more seating choices and a greater chance at a better, less packed view. This might also be the case for the new Disney Starlight Parade once it opens in summer 2025, but we'll have to wait and see in order to confirm that this double feature strategy will work on that too. Finding all the different showtimes for your Disney day can quickly become a game of back and forth, especially if you're going to be park hopping and you want to know which Disney showtimes are going on where and when. But you don't have to keep searching back and forth for each individual show on your My Disney Experience app. You can just find a whole list of them in one easy search. When you first open your My Disney Experience app, scroll down just a tad until you see the Park Hours section. Right under the listed park hours, you'll see a button that says Today's Showtimes. Just tap there to find the full show details about what's happening today in Disney World, including a list of nighttime entertainment options and their respective time frames. The list will also have information about the parades and cavalcades happening throughout the parks and what's going to be temporarily closed for refurbishments during your visit. This is a super handy way to just take a gander first thing in the morning and make sure everything lines up the way it's supposed to. One of the biggest changes that happened on the Disney scene this year was the switch over from Genie Plus to Multipass. Both were and are additional purchases on top of your regular theme park ticket that allow you to use lightning lanes to help you bypass the main standby ride queues in exchange for shorter lines. But one of the biggest changes between Genie Plus and Multipass is the fact that you can pre-select 3 lightning lanes before each park visit instead of having to book them all on the day of. If you're staying as a Disney hotel guest, you can start pre-selecting lightning lanes 7 days before your check-in day, but all other non-Disney hotel guests will be able to start pre-selecting their options only 3 days before the first day of their visit. Now don't worry, we're getting to the outsmarting part. There's a lot more to this big old switcheroo, which is why we got a full and free DFB guide all about multi and single passes that you can pick up right now when you scan the QR code you see on the screen. You can also head over to disneyfoodblog.com/multipass and pick up the guide that way instead, if it works better for you. But what we're going to focus on currently is something people ask us about all the time. Which multi-pass lightning lanes are the best to book first or in advance? In order to get to the bottom of this, here's one important multi-pass rule you need to know. When you're pre-selecting lightning lanes, each park, except for Animal Kingdom, will have their multi-pass options broken up into 2 tiers. You're only allowed to pre-select 1 lightning lane from the top tier, but you can select your other 2, or even all 3 if you want to, from the second tier. Again, I've got which specific Disney rides are placed into what tiers highlighted throughout that free multi-pass guide if you're looking for a cheat sheet. Go ahead and grab that, it's free. Now, even though I'm going to be focusing on multi-pass for this point, I do want to quickly shout out how single pass selections work too, since you might want to save for these as well, or quite possibly instead of the regular multi-pass, just get single pass, depending on your preference. So single pass selections are separate from multi-pass, but they're still going to hook you up with lightning lanes. Just the premium lightning lanes that'll cost you per ride per person instead of per day per person. Single pass lightning lanes are currently available for Tron Light Cycle Run and Seven Dwarfs Mine Train in Magic Kingdom, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind in Epcot, Flight of Passage in Animal Kingdom, and Rise of the Resistance in Hollywood Studios. Okay, if you're following me so far, fabulous. Let's get to selecting. Magic Kingdom's going to have the most multi-pass lightning lane options for you to choose from. It's got the most rides of any park. But since Tiana's Bayou Adventure is the newest ride in Magic Kingdom, and per the release of this video, it still uses a virtual queue system, we like to skip over all that boarding group stress by getting our hands on a top-tier lightning lane for it instead. If Tiana's is a little too thrilling for your group and you'd rather skip the giant water flume plunge, Peter Pan's Flight is also a really good top-tier lightning lane option to prioritize in Magic Kingdom, since its line can get really long really early on in the day. For your next 2 lightning lanes, I'd try prioritizing Pirates of the Caribbean and Haunted Mansion, since they're 2 of the more popular dark ride classics. But Buzz Lightyear, Space Ranger Spin, and The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh aren't bad options either, especially if you've got some Toy Story or 100 Acre Wood fans in your family. For Epcot, your top tier lightning lane options are really the only options you tend to actually need for this park, so you'll need to decide between pre-scheduling a lightning lane for Frozen Ever After or Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. Keep in mind that there's still a way you could end up with both of these top tier lightning lanes when it's all said and done. Right after you scan into your lightning lane, whether it be a top tier option or not, you are going to be able to make another lightning lane selection immediately after for any ride in the park that still has lightning lane availability, including top tiers. And I really mean any. Tiers are only a thing when you're pre-selecting lightning lanes. Once you're in the parks and actively using them, tiers disappear, giving you free reign to book whatever multi-pass tickles your fancy. Soarin' is also available as a first tier selection, but you're typically not going to see it rack up the waits like Frozen and Remy do, so it's still a good ride to select a lightning lane for once you're inside the park and making new selections, but maybe not as your initial pre-selection before your visit. And when Test Track opens in 2025, I assume it's going to be a top tier multi-pass option, though I guess it could become a single pass instead. Only time will tell. At either rate, you'll want to keep your eye out for that one, because if a lightning lane is available for Test Track in time for your visit, then you might want to prioritize that one over the others, especially when it first reopens. So what other lightning lanes should you pre-select for your Epcot day? Again, it really doesn't matter a whole lot since all those second-tier options usually don't have too high of weights to worry about, but if you're a thrill seeker, Mission Space Orange tends to see semi-higher weights at times than some, if you're brave enough to take on the mega spin action, that is. Don't worry, you can choose the green mission here instead for a much tamer experience if you know your stomach would hate you after the orange one. And, well, I don't know, sometimes Spaceship Earth can have long waits, though typically it's a walk-on, so you might be good with choosing that, or maybe you want to get ahead with the Turtle Talk with Crush crowds. Honestly, there's no wrong answer there. For Hollywood Studios, you've got a good lineup of Lightning Lane options, but I think I'd prioritize Slinky Dog Dash as a top-tier option, since the waits for that one can be brutal by midday, and all of the wait is outside. So if it is one of those 7 months in Orlando that are really hot, it's going to be a nightmare. Now, if you're looking for a coaster that's more thrilling, Rock and Roller Coaster might be a better top-tier option for your group instead. For your next two selections, you really don't need to use a Lightning Lane for those shows, so your best bet is to secure them for Toy Story Mania and Tower of Terror if you can. And for Animal Kingdom, like I mentioned earlier, you don't have any tiers you're going to have to worry about here. The only Lightning Lane ride you won't be able to book with just a Multipass purchase is Flight of Passage, since it uses an a la carte style single pass, which will cost you a separate price per person per ride through. So then which 3 Lightning Lanes should you prioritize here? Navi River Journey for sure, since it's the second ride inside the Pandora section that also sees some pretty long lines throughout the day, but it does fall under the Multipass category. After Navi, I'd probably go with Kilimanjaro Safaris and Kali River Rapids, just because their queues are mostly outdoors and can get really hot after a while. Expedition Everest's queue is mostly outdoors too, but there are some indoor sections that help break things up. Plus, if the line really looks too long for Everest, you can always use the single rider line instead for free to help you cut down on your wait, if you're cool with breaking up your group for at least one attraction. Okay, but after all of that, newsflash, you don't have to purchase Lightning Lanes at all if you don't want them. I know Disney's been making this big push for Lightning Lanes lately. They've even come out with a new Premier Lightning Lane option that only deluxe resort guests can purchase, which will give you all of a park's Lightning Lanes, single and multi included, without you having to worry about booking them in advance or on the day of your visit. But that's because Lightning Lanes are a major moneymaker for the parks. And yeah, they can be super convenient for you too. But just because you choose not to purchase them doesn't mean your day is going to be a wash. You can always plan around the crowds and longer lines in a way that won't cost you a cent extra. Here's how it's done. Strategy number 1, go to Disney when it's less crowded. If you want to avoid long Disney ride lines and you want to save money in the process, avoid going to Disney during those peak season times, like around the holidays or school breaks, 3-day weekends, etc. If you can pull off a trip in late August or early September when everyone's headed back to school, you'll not only experience way shorter lines, but lower prices for hotels and tickets too, since the theme park demand won't be as high that time of year. Strategy number 2, wake up for rope drop. Okay, so not everyone can abide by the visit during downtime strategy. I mean, it's called the slower season for a reason. Just ain't the most convenient time to visit the parks for a lot of us. So another tried and true tactic you can use any time of the year, whether you're visiting during peak, slow, or even average crowd level time, is by arriving at the parks in time for rope drop, aka right when the parks open each day, or maybe even 30 minutes before. Sometimes rope drop can happen earlier than expected, not always, but sometimes. So aim to be at the park of your choosing about 30 minutes before its official posted opening time. This is a great way to hit up those uber popular rides first thing in the morning, like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train in Magic Kingdom and Rise of the Resistance in Hollywood Studios. And don't worry, Disney sells coffee, so you can get your caffeine fix after knocking out a few of those early morning rides if you need it. Or if you're like me and you're a soda goblin, you can get plenty of Diet Coke. Strategy number 3, take advantage of early theme park entry. You're cool with getting up early? Great, then how's about we wake up even earlier? Don't forget that staying at Disney-owned hotels, as well as some Good Neighbor hotels, gives you access to early theme park entry, ETPE, which allows you to enter any park on any day 30 minutes before opening. We've used this strategy in the past to knock out a good chunk of Fantasyland even before Magic Kingdom opened up for the day. Same with Toy Story Land and Hollywood Studios. Along the same lines, guests staying at deluxe Disney resorts also have access to those extended extended evening hours. This gives you up to 2 extra hours in select parks on certain nights. Just flash your room key along with your theme park ticket and head in for an evening of very low wait times. Strategy number 4, become one with the night owls. Sometimes a ride just won't let up on their long wait times throughout the day. But if you're willing to take a gamble, you could wait to get in line for a certain ride right before the park closes. As long as a ride queue is still open, it's free game to jump in line for. We've used this strategy many times to ride Flight of Passage in Animal Kingdom. We just hop in line for it like 10 to 15 minutes before the park starts kicking everyone out. And regardless of the projected wait, Disney will make sure that whoever's in line, even after the queue's closed up for the evening, will still be able to ride the ride before they leave for the night. So why is this a gamble? Well, if anything were to happen to the ride, like technical difficulties or a protein spill and the ride has to close, then that ride isn't going to reopen again until the next day. And that can be a real bummer, especially if you're not planning to return to that park for the remainder of your trip. And strategy number 5 to skip those lines without paying a cent extra is make a sacrifice. I promise this isn't as dark as it sounds. I just mean sometimes you might have to choose whether you want to prioritize the fireworks or a parade or a ride, since ride times tend to drop during those big performances. That's how I like to knock out the 2 big Epcot rides, to be honest. I'll choose to get in line for Remy's Ratatouille Adventure during my early theme park time, and then 20 to 30 minutes before Luminous begins toward the end of the day, I'll jump in line for Frozen Ever After. All right, if y'all have been following DFB for a while, then first of all, thank you. I appreciate this more than you know. And second of all, I'm so sorry, but I'm about to talk about the 2025 Water Park Perk again because this could really be a game changer for a lot of families next year in terms of outsmarting Disney. So if you're staying at a Disney World hotel in 2025, then you'll receive free tickets to one of Disney World's 2 water parks to use on your check-in day. But the catch is, you can only use them on your check-in day. Even though your room won't be ready until later in the afternoon, you can still drop off your luggage with your resort's Bell services, then head straight to the water park to get as much time as you can in the lazy river or speeding down the water slides. But this free perk means that arriving in the Disney bubble sooner rather than later is going to be of the utmost importance on that first day. Or is it? If you have a split stay in 2025 where you'll literally be splitting your Disney World vacation between 2 different Disney-owned hotels, then you'll be able to use the complimentary water park admission on both of your check-in days. So for example, if you check into Pop Century on a Sunday, you can use your water park admission that day. But if you check out of Pop Century and move on over to Polynesian Village Resort, lucky you, that following Wednesday, you'll be able to go to the water park again on Wednesday. Or you can just choose to use your free water park perk on that second check-in day if you don't think you'll be able to make it to the Orlando area early enough on day 1 of your trip to really make those free tickets worth your while. There are several reasons you might need a later checkout time on the last day of your hotel stay. Maybe your flight isn't until later in the afternoon, or maybe you stayed out really late the night before at an after-hours event, or maybe you're just trying to brace yourself and your poor bare feet for when you step out of bed and onto Disney's hotel cold hardwood floors instead of on the nice plushy carpet that you might be used to. This is another place that Bria and I disagree. She loves the new kind of vinyl flooring that Disney's been putting down in its hotel rooms, and I like the carpets. I know it's gross, I get it, it's weird, but I like how cozy it is. Anyway, while standard checkout for a Disney World hotel is 11 a.m. sharp, sometimes you can request a late checkout time and Disney will happily oblige. On the day of or close to your checkout date, you can reach out either through your hotel phone or by paying a visit to the front desk and letting the resort cast members know what's up. From there, the front desk cast member will be able to let you know your final checkout verdict. The request is never guaranteed since housekeeping needs to turn rooms over for the next guests as quickly as possible, but it never hurts to ask about. Not to mention, it might be more of a possibility during the resort's slower seasons when room demand isn't as demanding. I usually have the best luck if I call to request a late checkout the morning of the day before checkout. You can't really request a late checkout until the day before you check out, but do it as soon as possible that morning to have the best chance of getting one. Now, if you're trying to request a later checkout just because you don't want to leave the Disney bubble sooner than you have to, Disney can still help you pull that off even if they're going to need you out of the room by 11 on the dot. Bell services can hold onto your luggage for you while you continue to soak in your last few hours on Disney grounds. And here's a little extra tidbit of advice for you. Your Magic Band or Key to the World card will still be active until midnight on the day you check out. So technically, if you've still got your swimsuit handy, you can take one final dip at your resort pool before you go. There are 2 crucial things you need to know about Disney Springs. 1, Douglas Fir is perhaps the greatest character interaction property-wide, and I want to petition to make him a permanent installment instead of a seasonal talking tree that you might see during the holidays or summer Flavors of Florida event. Please note this, Disney Springs, everybody got it? Okay. 2, mobile ordering is more of a thing around Disney Springs than the My Disney Experience app will lead you to believe. On the MDE app, there are 4 listed locations where you can mobile order food or treats in Disney Springs: Amaret's Patisserie, Goofy's Candy Company, Deluxe Burger, and BB Wolf's Sausage Company. However, select Disney Springs locations also offer mobile ordering via their own apps or websites. So here's a full list of all the Disney Springs restaurants and snack locations that have mobile ordering that Disney's not going to tell you about. Everglaze Donut and Cold Brew offers online ordering on their Toast tab page. The Polite Pig uses it via politepig.com. Cooks of Dublin has mobile order via the Cooks of Dublin website and mobile app. Chicken Guy offers online ordering via chickenguy.com. You can also simply scan the QR code on the display when you arrive at the restaurant. Sprinkles offers ordering through the sprinkles.com and free Sprinkles app. And here's one that might shock ya. The main Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company storefront offers online ordering via Joffrey's Online. I've got a few more outsmarting Disney strategies I want to hit you with today that admittedly we have featured in Outsmarting Disney videos of DFB's past. You know, we try to make sure that everything is very, very fresh here with brand new suggestions and brand new advice. But every once in a while, some of this stuff is too good to let go by. We don't have all the same subscribers. We've got a bunch of new folks here too, and we want to make sure you hear these as well. But don't worry, we're still going to update these classic tips to fit the mold of your 2025 visit. So even if you've heard them before, you'll want to see how they can help you out in a brand new way. Book those advanced dining reservations even earlier. Since most restaurants in Disney Springs are not directly owned by Disney, but instead are owned by third-party companies, the Disney World website isn't the only place you can book dining reservations. You can also book dining reservations for Springs restaurants on OpenTable.com. So how early can you book? Well, depends on the restaurant. A ton more restaurants let you book between 60 days and 6 months out, with potential options like Paddlefish, Boathouse, Edison, and Morimoto Asia. Even the newest table service in Disney Springs, Summer House on the Lake, can secure your reservations 90 days out from your visit. And the best part about OpenTable? Even if you're not finding reservation availability on the My Disney Experience website, that doesn't mean you won't find it on OpenTable. So always check both websites just to increase your chances of getting those reservations secured. Consider getting just one single annual pass. If you can't or you don't want to shell out for the big bucks to get annual passes for your entire family, especially after that last round of annual pass price hikes in October, you might want to consider buying just one. There are plenty of benefits you can score in the parks with just one annual pass holder in your group. First, there's the AP discounts for dining and merch, which you can use for everyone in your group if and only if you're all paying together on the pass holders check. You can also get extra Disney hotel savings throughout the year, which you're going to find available via the special offers, deals, and discounts page on the Disney World website. Just look for the annual pass holder discounts. Annual pass holders also typically get discounts on special events and tours and can purchase multiple tickets at the time of booking. The other thing you could save big bucks on, or at least moderate bucks, is parking. If you're driving to Disney World and staying off property, then you're going to have to shell out $30 per day to park at the theme parks, but annual pass holders get complimentary parking with all pass levels. Sounds awesome, right? Now here's the downside. This hack tends to work best for Florida residents, and they'll have their choice of annual pass holder tiers, meaning they can choose to pay less but receive more park blockout days, or they can choose to pay more for fewer blockout days. However, out-of-state guests can only choose the highest priced option, the Incredipass, which is going to put you back about $1,549. But if you still visit the parks often enough, this cost and the discounts attached to it will still be worth the investment in the end. But you're definitely going to crunch those numbers before deciding one way or the other. Now, one little tip on this one is to try to get at least 2 or more visits out of your annual pass. So if your family usually goes the first week in June, then go the first week in June in 2025, and then go the last week in May in 2026 and get the hotel discounts and all the other discounts on that annual pass for both of those trips. Now this is something we really love talking about, but today I want to actually show you what kind of savings you can get when you book a Disney Vacation Club hotel room through a reliable third-party company instead of through Disney directly. So David's Vacation Club Rentals, this is a site that we recommend a lot. It helps connect Disney Vacation Club members, those who are part of Disney's timeshare program, and non-DVC members in a way that benefits everybody. The non-DVC members can rent vacation points from DVC members when those members aren't planning on using their points before they expire, and they don't want them to go to waste. If you decide to rent DVC points, you're essentially staying as a guest of a Disney Vacation Club member. In fact, depending on the date and resort you choose, you may be able to rent points and get a room for 50% less than it would cost you to book that room directly through Disney. As an example, in April 2025, a 4-night stay in a brand new duo studio at the Island Tower in Disney's Polynesian Village Resort will usually run you about $820 per night. But if you were booking the same studio through David's DVC Rentals instead, your total cost for the room would come to around $1,700, not per night. Total. Keep in mind that there are a few downsides through renting from a third-party service, including stricter cancellation policies. But if you want to learn more about how David's DVC rentals work, be sure to check out our video that goes in depth with this Disney hotel hack so you can figure out if the pros outweigh the cons, or vice versa. All right, Disney World, we've outsmarted you yet again, and now we're ready for an awesome 2025 vacation. Don't forget though, we've got that free multi/single pass guide ready to send to your email right now. Just go to disneyfoodblog.com/multipass and we'll get it to your inbox ASAP. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.